What's up, Kengan fans? It's Wednesday, so you know it's time for some more Kengan Omega. Latest chapter review for chapter 334, entitled A Surprising Proposal. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but to me, I was also surprised by this chapter, the direction of this chapter, and where we end off on this chapter, and none of that in a negative way. So, even though I proposed that we were going to, in the last review, that we were going to follow now on another group of characters, somebody else, people brought up maybe Hatsumi, what about Roland or Rahito or somebody like that, and I also said probably Kanade or Rahito, somebody like that. We're actually sticking with the two groups. Now we are reintroduced to a couple of characters in this chapter, but we're sticking with the Okubo and Oma group and the Shen Yan group. Chapter starts ourselves off with the Oma Okubo group, and they're basically saying that right now there's much less chance of an encounter in the field, so people are probably moving on. This area is about to be closed off because it hasn't even been 2 hours yet, but where the first area is so vast, so wide, and even though we have 60 odd combatants, that's still not like the area is quite massive. So it's like, okay, let's get to the next area sort of idea, right? Now, they encounter, somebody else comes upon them. We then jump over back to, as I said, Shen and Yan, who run into, who they're not that far away from each other, but relatively enough. The mini-map doesn't showcase just how wide a distance this truly is on the island. Two of the supernovas, however, the Mighty Monk Onoda Ikai, and of course the Miracle Leonardo Silva, who got done a little bit dirty in the Koga match, in my opinion, in the, was it the Berserker Bowl? Got done a little bit dirty, and in a rematch, I would argue that Leonardo could have definitely won that match had his arm not been as screwed up and stuff, had he not had injuries at the time. They seemed pretty evenly matched, but these are two of the new generation, the new supernovas. Yan introduces them to Shen as such. Now, they're both sweating bullets because they obviously have been told about Shen. They know of Shen, and they're just like, wow, the final boss. Okay, well, if we can do this early, then, maybe we can enjoy the matches, you know what I mean, as a thing. If we take down the real enemy, this evil organization, these terrorists, the Worm and the Connector and all that stuff, and save the lives of Oma, Ryuki, Koga, etc., then we can, therefore, just treat this as a major awesome tournament, right? Now, Yan is finally going to strut his stuff against a C tier at best. Now, I'm not going to take this away from the Yan enjoyers. Alright? I'm not going to take this away from you guys. It was nice for him to actually step up and say, I'll take both of you on at once. You can't just do all the fighting, Connector. Let me do it. And so this is where they're sort of downplaying him, though he introduces himself as the head of the Worm. They're sort of like, okay, but the Connector's the big dog at the end of the day, so we're still going to fight one of his underlings, one of his subordinates, one of his officers. And this is where the Mighty Monk decides he is going to go first. As I said, Yan, to his credit, does say, you guys can go 2-on-1 if you want, because he's fairly confident in this. And, of course, they all have their pride as warriors and stuff like that. You take us for cowards, like we got to team up on you. He's like, well, alright, fair enough for your attitude, but still kind of stupid, right? Now, this is where they both introduce themselves, they get ready in their stances. It doesn't seem like Onada here lowers his guard at all. He's like, he's the leader of the Worm. Taking him down is not any small feat. This would be a big boon. And even if I fail, so he's assuming, he's like, this guy's probably really strong. Even if I fail to defeat him, if I can just make him show off the style that he uses and stuff, Leonardo, or even injure him, Leonardo will be able to then pick up the slack and might be able to take him down. So he wants him to show his hand. Yan rushes forward, gets within range, without him even noticing, thinks he's going to take a hit to the left, or I guess in this case, no, it'd be the right. He notices the right fist coming, and he thinks he reads the inception of intent. Now, I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking that this was an actual feint, and it wasn't just the inception of intent that he misread, that he completely started to go this way, immediately backed off and clocked and managed to change his motion, his flow of motion of force, and completely change the lines of flux, and boom, strikes him on this side rather than this side. It's just like, okay. Alright, so Yan is taking no prisoners here. He takes him down in one shot. Yan's going to follow up, and Shen's the one to remark, nah, that fight's over. That was a one-shit knockout. Now, granted, the Supernovas are C tier at best in the Kengan verse overall. Let's be real. None of them, realistically, could be put into even mid B tier. So, depending on where you rank this guy, you know, I like the panels. I like the art. I like the fact that Yan took this seriously, seemingly went all out. He's like, no, I'm going to fight him. And did a feint, whether it's inception of intent misread or if it was an actual feint, because it looks like the motion lines in the art showcase him pulling his fist back, the one that Onada was able to locate or detect, and it was like, holy shit, it's coming for me. Absolutely not, and it's this way instead. You know, as a, not a sucker punch, obviously, he was prepared, but you know what I mean. And Yan takes him down in one blow. Leonardo is just like, whoa. So he couldn't even land a hit on him, and he was taken down in one blow. This dude is way too strong. So this is where another of the Supernovas is eliminated. Yan takes off the Apple Watch and says, so, you want to fight me next, sort of idea. Now, Leonardo is obviously very freaked out by this. His speed, his ability to take out the mighty monk in just one hit. And we don't really know what's going to transpire there. Will Leonardo live to fight another day? Will he take the coward's way out? Or will he stand his ground like an idiot? Place your bets now, sort of idea. Either way, it's a little bit of humiliation, right? Either way this goes. Leo is going to be humiliated one way or another. He has to either retreat, and as I said, that's will be looked on by some of them, like our dear poor mighty monk who has now been eliminated, has said that's an act of cowardice. Or will he stand his ground like a fool and try to win when he's clearly outmatched? Because, as I said, though I don't think that Yan is top 5 or even top 10, he's clearly a gatekeeper to the A tiers in some respect, right? So we have a lot of S tiers nowadays. Or we might even need to reestablish what is S, what is A, what is B, or add the double S tier, right? Not quite the Jerry Tyson tier, but somewhere in there. So fact of the matter is that even if Yan, I don't put him as a top 10 fighter in the whole verse, it doesn't mean that he's not stronger than, you know, the majority of the combatants here. Know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this went about as could be expected. The Supernovas are completely outclassed in this matchup with so many greats and legends and, well, quite literally just Shen showing up to this tournament. So then we jump back to the Oma Okubo stuff, which is, to me, far more interesting. Once again, Yan fans, you eating a little bit there. The art was good. Nice to see him show off and actually fight his own battles for a change. But once again, it was against somebody that he completely outclassed in every way. So it doesn't showcase us much yet. Keyword being yet, though. Now, it's the genocider. The man, the myth, the legend. The guy who makes all men feel inferior in the bedroom. MUTEBA. He shows up and he's like, hey, sup? And they're just like, oh, well, I forgot you were even in this match. Like, why are you doing this, man? It's like, okay, alright. So all three of us around here is pretty cool. And even though Kubo doesn't realize that, once again, the Apple Watch is always going to show where the metal is at. And MUTEBA has to be the one who's like, dude, I am blind and I know how to use this stuff. He's like, give me a break. That was a really bad joke. I've just been tracking the metal the whole time. Everyone can see the metal's location data on their watches at any time, right? So as long as I have the general location, I can pinpoint it with my hearing easily. This is insane. This is insanity. The man is trying to show Okubo and Oma, who aren't blind, How did it's quite funny to me. It's quite hilarious. I actually like this interaction. So they're just like, were you two even listening to how I just said that? Anyways, he's like, so came here tracking the medals. So he's like, all right, here's the deal. I've come up with a way to boost our chances of winning. So he's sort of acting like they're on the same side. Now, once again, MUTEBA is a mercenary. And we're going to get to that because it's not that he's on anybody's side. And we're going to see that in a minute. He goes over the facts, and basically how he explains is that the first area is going to be closed off soon, and the second area will be closed off 6 hours after the start time. We know this. However, this is now our real chance. The rules state if the medal is left behind in an area that is closed off, the one who held it the longest will be declared the winner. So, it's like, okay, only Oma this entire time has been holding on to the medal. So if they wait until the last possible minute, Okubo's realizing this, and he states to Oma, you're the only one who's had the medal the whole time, meaning you easily have held it the longest. So if we just get rid of the medal, and you survive until the end of the match, it doesn't matter, you'll win automatically, because you held the medal the longest amount of time. And MUTEBA is playing this game. It's like, right, there are plenty of ways to win this match. Just defeating enemies and trying to do this as a gauntlet would be like a meathead's, the sucker's way out. But then he says, hand over the medal. Okubo and Oma aren't really listening to that last sentence, and they continue to go off saying, you know, he takes this the wrong way. Like, Oma states, so you're going to disqualify yourself to just get rid of the medal? I don't want you to do that sort of idea. And Okubo says, you know, your life is on the line, Ryuki's life is on the line. If the medal's gone, you'd be the only one with the right to win. You ain't the only one whose life, you know, this is a do or die situation. Like, don't let your pride get in the way sort of idea. Oma realizes this, but he's doing the typical Goku shonen MC bullshit where it's like, yeah, but that feels like dishonest, that feels like cheating. He doesn't even get to state this because MUTEBA with the snag, with the steal, 100%. Okay. And yes, I already saw the comment jokes about the fact that MUTEBA was the one to steal / pickpocket. To be fair, the man is a trained assassin, and sort of this would be in his skill repertoire. I'm not saying he's exactly Altair from friggin' Assassin's Creed or anything, but I would assume that the man, this, you know, the merc of the underworld, would have a certain set of skills. That's all I'm saying, alright? So, but yeah, we've already seen, I'm sure we've all seen it. So anyways, this man swipes the medal, and what I like here is he brings up, Okubo, thank you, because he's got the medal, and he says, you distracted Oma long enough for me to swipe that. Because you've improved insanely. So MUTEBA knows all about the training. I'm sure he's done his intel. And he's like, you've improved a great deal. But it seems to me that you're still not yet capable of predicting moves that do not come with violent intent. So if there's no bloodlust, if there's no aura to detect, he's still in that camp. Like, Oma has improved when it comes to 1v1 fight and somebody's intending to fight. But MUTEBA used not only the distraction, waited until he lowered his guard, and he's like, your principles can't detect me because you haven't honed them in a non-combative situation. You know, you can still be taken by surprise. I like that because it's once again showing no matter how much Oma improved right before this tournament, he still has yet to master principles in that regard. Sneak attacks and surprise attacks will still work, hence why MUTEBA agreed to join in something like this, because these guerrilla warfare tactics, and by playing the game to the rules, using the rules to his advantage, this is very much MUTEBA's home turf. And Okubo says, what the hell do you think you're doing, sort of idea, and he says, what are you talking about, Okubo? This is a match, remember? And Oma says, that's right. So I'm taking that medal back by force now, MUTEBA. End of chapter. Okay. So, this does not mean, let's just get this out of the way. This does not mean that MUTEBA is actively on the enemies list, right? What this implies is that MUTEBA is doing this for his own benefit. He entered this match. He holds nothing against Oma or Ryuki, but he's not exactly one of their bosom friends either, right? So the fact is that he wants to win this match for himself. And he most likely is going to take this medal, to take it still for the most amount of time. I'm sure he set up booby traps, by the way. He's not going to take on Oma front force. He's going to be like, I know I'm outmatched. I know about your progress. And I know that realistically, unless I can come to kill you, even then, I'm not 100% sure. So what he's probably done is set up a method of escape, of a tactical retreat, and he is going to disappear into the fog, as it were. And this is going to potentially benefit. Of course, this is not going to be where it ends. It's way too soon. It's way too early for this to work. I'm going to imagine that Shen is going to catch up with MUTEBA at the very end of it and manage to get the medal. Or somebody else will, in some way, shape, or form. But the fact is, this medal, this medallion, this is still going to work in the sense of Oma has still held it the longest. But if MUTEBA can keep it out of play, if he can at the very last second, because, I mean, he could also just jump onto the thing and toss it. Like, I don't think somebody needs to hold on to it. This is where it got a little confusing. From what I understand, is that MUTEBA said, give me the medal. And he's like, you're going to sacrifice yourself to get disqualified? I don't think so. I'm not cool with that. And it's like, well, no. He could still be a part of the match. He can hold on to the medal as long as possible, then drop it on the ground and book it to the second area, and then the first area closes at, like, the last second. It's, like, counting down, and it's like, dropped, stepped over the line, boom, second area, medal's gone. That's not a win condition anymore, and only Oma and MUTEBA would be the ones with any stakes on the medal timing. Now, depending on which one held it longer, then it would matter. But I'm still sitting here going, this is potentially beneficial to Oma, but at the end of the day, MUTEBA is doing this as a way of taking out a lot of the competition from doing this tactic when the area is much more condensed, much smaller. It's going to be more unlikely. So he's trying to take the medal and the potential of the connector winning, I believe, because he knows MUTEBA does not want to fight Shen straight up. The man is a merc. The man is a tactical, guerrilla warfare type of guy. And he's going to use this, once again, to his advantage. And he's trying to win this, the money, the wish, all the stuff for himself. And he knows his best chance of doing so is making sure that Shen can't win due to this medal crap. Or at the very least, he can do the reverse of what, it's not Oma who's going to hold it the longest, it's MUTEBA, and MUTEBA just needs to survive till the end. And he never has to face Shen directly. As you said, it's the meathead, it's the sucker's way to try to defeat all these heavy hitters. Like, that is not in my game plan. This is the dude who literally said, nope, this is getting way too close to crossing the line for me. In the Assured tournament, this isn't worth it. I'm out. Right? So he's just using the gray matter up here. I gotta respect him for it. I really do. Because it looks sort of like he's being a turncoat when he's not. He's just out for himself. And if it happily benefits Oma and the good guys, quote unquote, and takes away or makes the Worm, Gilbert, and Shen at a disadvantage, those are just perks. Right? But once again, MUTEBA probably is out there. As you said, this is a match. He probably wants to win this for himself. And facing Shen straight up is not part of, I guarantee you, part of his strategy is making sure he never has to do that. Because MUTEBA knows his own limitations. So, alright. Some good thinking on this chapter. I like where it went. Yan fanboys, once again, You're not exactly eating filet mignon yet, but you're at the dinner table, I would say. So, cool for Yan fans. You got some Yan action. And for MUTEBA fans, which how can you not be, this was a fun chapter. So what do you guys think, though? Let me know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. This is chapter 334, Kengan review from yours truly. Have a good one, everyone. See you back here next Wednesday. Sayonara.